it is. Well, here we are at Palm Beach International Airport with your Palm Beach Post presidential tarmac team. We just saw the landing of Air Force One. It's the third Friday in a row that we have witnessed that. I'm George Bennett, staff writer. Thomas Cordy is your videographer today. Once again, if you're just joining us, Air Force One has just landed at Palm Beach International Airport. I'm not a pilot, but I think he really stuck that landing.
It's very tight as well.
And now he's down at the eastern end of the runway, making that counterclockwise turn.
You've got the snipers on the roof here on the building surrounding the vehicle. We can tell you, we believe from reports that Steve Bannon is on board, chief advisor.
There's a crowd here. You might see him later of maybe 80 Trump supporters who are gathered here in hopes that he will come over and greet him. 2 weeks ago when he landed, he did come over to the crowd and shook hands and for a little while. Last week he had the Prime Minister of Japan with him and did not come over to the crowd. So it's always kind of a guessing game whether he's going to interact with folks here. It's the kind of suspense that makes these Air Force One landings such compelling watching. President Trump this weekend is going to be going on Saturday to a campaign rally up in Melbourne. He's also potentially going to be interviewing candidates at Mar-a-Lago for the National Security Advisor's job. On Twitter today, President Trump said that there are 4 finalists for the job. Once again, if you're just joining us, we are at Palm Beach International Airport, and Air Force One has just landed. President Donald Trump is on board. His daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner are with him. We know that Reince Priebus, the Chief of Staff, and Steve Bannon, a senior counselor to the president, made the trip. Don't believe Melania Trump is on this trip. This is the third week in a row that President Trump has visited Palm Beach, where he has his Mar-a-Lago home, his second home. Your Palm Beach Post team tarmac coverage. We've got Thomas Cordy on the video. I'm George Bennett, staff writer. And award-winning photographer Alan Eystone is also with us. And now you see that plane pulling up. That's a 30-year-old aircraft, President Trump was saying earlier today when he was at a Boeing facility in South Carolina. As we mentioned earlier, there's maybe 80 supporters of Donald Trump that are here on the runway off to our left. We might get a look at them later. And they're hoping that the president will come over, as he did 2 weeks ago, and shake hands with him. Now you're getting a look at that staircase being wheeled out to Air Force One. It's a precision operation. It's not just anybody can do that. Now, coming out of the back of the plane, I think out of camera range right now, you have some military personnel coming out of the back stairs. Taking their positions. Motorcade is coming into place. This week it looks like they're going to be using the Chevy SUVs as the presidential vehicle. Last week they had the more traditional limousine. Getting a look at that Chevy Suburban tricked out. And there's the second Suburban. They always have two limousines. Once again, if you're just joining us, Palm Beach Post presidential tarmac team coverage of the arrival of Air Force One here at Palm Beach International Airport. This is the third Friday in a row that President Trump has flown into his second home at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. It's just an 11-minute motorcade ride from here to Mar-a-Lago. President Trump should be leaving the plane shortly, taking the short ride over to Mar-a-Lago. This weekend he's got a campaign rally up the coast in Melbourne, and he's also going to be interviewing candidates for the National Security Advisor position that became vacant this week when Mike Flynn resigned. Your videographer today is Thomas Cordy. Motorcade is pulling into place here. There's usually about 30 vehicles in it. Right over there. That guy. Sorry, Facebook Live listeners, I was doing some actual some work for my other journalism job here. My guess is he's going to go over and say hi to the supporters, but I don't know. You just never know till he comes down to the bottom of those stairs. It's about 75 degrees here in West Palm Beach. I believe the temperature was in the 30s in Washington when the president left this morning. There he is. You can hear some cheering off to the left, his supporters. As I said, a crowd of about 80 folks or so. Here comes down the stairs. Salute to some of the military personnel. And now he's making his way over. Making his way over to the crowd here. He's talking to a couple of individuals. A guy's giving him a T-shirt.
Give it a T-shirt. Got America for Trump over here.
Some type of T-shirt was presented to him. Now he's going over to his crowd of supporters. As you can see, he's talking to this group of supporters that's waited for him here at the airport. Might be getting a view of some of the photographers taking his picture. I see Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon getting into one of the limos right over there. White House Chief of Staff just got in, and then there's Steve Bannon getting into that limo for the ride over to Mar-a-Lago. Meanwhile, President Trump is shaking hands, making some remarks, talking to people. Looks like he's signing some autographs. Again, if you're just joining us, President Donald Trump just landed at Palm Beach International Airport in West Palm Beach. His third straight weekend here. He is greeting a group of supporters on the runway at Palm Beach International Airport before he takes the brief motorcade trip a couple miles east to his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach. Looks like he just kissed somebody's hand. Earlier, some guys gave him, it looked like a black T-shirt. We'll try to find out what that is. Once again, if you're just joining us, we are at Palm Beach International Airport. President Donald Trump has just landed on Air Force One for his third consecutive weekend visit to his second home at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. He came down the steps and went over to this crowd of 80 or so supporters who were gathered there to watch his arrival, and spending a good several minutes with him. Should be soaking up some more adulation tomorrow when he goes to a campaign rally in Melbourne. Today marks 4 weeks that he's been in office. It's 4 weeks since Inauguration Day. And one of the things that he will be doing this weekend is possibly interviewing candidates for the National Security Advisor's job at Mar-a-Lago. There he's waving, making a few remarks, a thumbs up. Now he's saying hello to a couple of military personnel. And now he's going to get into the same limousine as Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon for that ride along Southern Boulevard over to Mar-a-Lago.